this warm welcome. This is our first virtual grant presentation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Melinda Andalina, and I chair the Rochester Women's Giving Circle along with 13 other women members who make up our leadership team that have eventually brought us here today. So we say hello and welcome. I'd like to welcome you all personally. I would love to look in your eyes and say hello and see how you're doing. Um, but circumstances are such, we wanted to celebrate this opportunity to share with you the wonderful work of the grant making committee and the wonderful frontline work that our grantees are doing. So it's great to see you. We have members, we have guests that I'm so warmly welcoming into this virtual presentation. And we have supporters, and we want to do a special shout out to the Rochester Community Foundation, who have been with us since our infancy 14 years ago. And Jennifer Leonard, if she's not on, she will be joining. She always likes attending our events. And Sarah Berkowitz is here, as well as Maura Barron, and they present and give us so much resources. We just want to say thank you. And we continue to have a wonderful relationship with the Community Foundation. Listen, during the next 45 minutes, you'll hear from me, only briefly, but to keep you on your toes, we're going to have all of our 10 grantees speak to you. So I'm going to be sharing all of 4 slides, but most of the time we'll be in gallery view or presenting view. So by now you've mastered Zoom and the chat option. Because of our limited time today, it won't allow us for questions and answers, but chat is available and being monitored by our education chair, Judy Von Bucher. And she will interrupt the speaker if it's appropriate. If not, we promise to get back to you with any questions that you leave there or concerns or rave reviews. We'll get back to you on that too. So in the meantime, here we go. We're going to share that first slide. And I'm going to view it in slideshow. There we go. There we go. Is everyone seeing the welcome sign? Good. All right. Well, welcome. Prior to last year, we had a tradition of celebrating the work of our grantees and the work of the grant making committee with a lovely gathering at breakfast. We've done it at downtown at churches, at hotels. We've been in the suburbs at a golf club, but now we find ourselves in a virtual mode, celebrating the work of our grant making committee and the work of our grantees. So even though it's a tad different, it's a-okay. Hey, listen, 2020 showed us how nimble our business model is as we were able to pivot and continue to evaluate and award our collective monies to the agencies doing the frontline work. Also in 2020, we instituted a flexible grant cycle to better serve the needs of the grantees. That meant that instead of the programs starting in July and ending in June, as in years past, each grantee determined the appropriate start date for their program. In line with that, in 2020, we delivered our funding checks when the program began. This is a bit of a logistical challenge for our partner committee chair, Linda Joseph, but she and the committee have managed it superbly well. We're going to continue that process again this year. So thank you for all the work that you do and the grant and the partner committee. Thank you, Linda. All right. Okay, here we go. Slide 2 of 4. Remember, I'm not going to keep you out here long. Okay, 2021 has continued to keep our concentrated, laser-focused work in front of us. This pandemic exemplified the role of essential workers, the working poor, and how single mothers, head of households are managing childcare, school, employment, and their own health. I am so proud, and I'm sure all of you are too, of the work that our grant-making committee has done these past 2 years, adapting to the restrictions of COVID-19. Here are your fellow members of this year's grant-making committee. And thanks to co-chair Carol Heidi and Sue Moore, they assembled 15 members, some newbies. It's always fun to join the grant-making committee. You learn so much. And some repeaters. And we thank you all for your work that you did to solidify the 2021 grant dollars. For our members, in January, we let you know that we would be able to grant at least $200,000 this month. Today, we are granting out $214,700. And that additional $14,700 is a result of a grant awarded in 2020 and being unable to begin the program. And it could not go as well. It couldn't go off, so the money was returned. And we also used additional gifts from non-members to supplement this year's funds. So how will that $214,000 be distributed? Let me introduce you to the fabulous 2021 grantee lineup. I'll be introducing these 10 agencies to you, but they will offer in their own voice a brief description of the program, why it's important to our community, the challenges that COVID presented, and if they've been funded by the Giving Circle in the past, if there's any enhancements to the programs that we know about. Well, we celebrate you, our 10 grantees. So I'm gonna unshare, stop share, and we're back in gallery view or speaker view. And I'd like to introduce the first lineup. Speaker will be Emily Lynch from Cameron Community Ministries to share with us the program that we helped initiate called Respect and Responsibility for Girls. Our Giving Circle member, Jamila Smith, will continue to be your partner for this program when it begins in September. I'd like now, Emily, take it off mute and take the floor.
Thank you so much, Melinda. We're really happy to be here today, and we're so grateful for everything the Women's Giving Circle has done for Cameron and for our R&R group. One thing I wanted to highlight, you took a chance on us 7 or 8 years ago, and we've come a long way. We recently had one of our R&R group members, Jaleesa, graduate from Mercy High School. That was just a few weeks ago, and she's heading off to Nazareth College in the fall. She also served as a mentor with the R&R group, and she's going to be speaking as a guest speaker at our etiquette dinner, which is tomorrow night. So we just love to see that kind of story arc and how much growth she's had, and lots of other girls are growing and learning through the group too. Mildrina Vega is also on this call today. She's our assistant director for the teen program, and she's going to talk a little bit too. So I'll hand the mic over to her. Miss Mills, if you want to share a little, I'll mute now.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Emily. And thank you all for having us here today. So yeah, Emily spoke a little bit to kind of how we see things come kind of even full circle, or kind of even just seeing some of the seeds planted and how we get to kind of harvest them and see them grow. So we're really, really proud of Jaleesa and all of her accomplishments. She has been a part of Cameron and a part of our R&R group for years. And it's so bittersweet to kind of see her age out and kind of graduate the program, if you will. So as Emily kind of said, I work primarily at the Teen Center, and I oversee our girls R&R group here. This year has been really, really important just because a lot of the youth have talked about how their social interactions have been limited or stifled just due to COVID. So we're really, really happy that we were able to continue this program this year. With COVID, our hours changed here at Cameron. We went from an after school setting to more of a full day setting, assisting the kids with academics and just giving them a space to be themselves and interact with other students. On Fridays, we would do our R&R groups for an hour. During those groups, we were able to kind of just talk about issues and concerns in the community. We did a amazing service project. The teens, they kind of saw a need with transportation and accessibility to food this year with COVID. And so they said, hey, let's do something about it. Cameron is really unique in that we have like a kitchen and we were able to continue serving meals, but we were like, what about when we were closed? What about if you don't live near Cameron? So we sold hot chocolate and we raised over $1,000, over $1,200 actually, I believe. And we were able to pass out like bus passes and things like that to people in the community. So like I said, each month we kind of had like a theme. We talked about things from confidence and how to build that, to having healthy relationships, to learning to be responsible, set goals for yourself. And finally, we're actually on etiquette. So we're doing some etiquette classes. We actually have our last one today, and we're celebrating with an amazing etiquette dinner tomorrow, where the kids were all able to shop and actually learn a lot about attire and what semi-formal means. But they were able to do that. We're really excited to kind of just bring it all together at the end. We've had guests over the year as well. We have a relationship with the University of Rochester. So that was really awesome to have pediatricians come in, just some resident doctors to teach them about, the menstrual cycles and how to deal with that, hygiene, just everyday like girl issues. And our girls R&R program is broken into 2 groups. So we have our 4th through 6th graders, and then we have our 7th through 12th. So, we have like the pediatricians kind of talking to the younger kids and some sex ed kind of going on with the older. So it's really nice that we're able to kind of modify it to their needs and their ages. And we're just really excited for the new year to start again in September, as we're finishing out, like I said, with our dinner tomorrow. And we're going to go back to our regular hours, so after school hours, so that we can focus more on to have you guys support. And Jamila, I hope to see you tomorrow at our dinner.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for presenting. Appreciate that. Next up,
There was a quick question. How many girls in the program?
So I know like we are probably ending with about 15, I want to say. Like I said, this has been a really tricky year, and we've had to even scale back our numbers just due to COVID and, trying to follow the CDC guidelines. So yeah, we're finishing out with about like 15 right now. And then we will be open in the summer and in the fall with higher numbers, increased attendance.
Thank you. Thanks, Judy. Thank you. And thanks again, Cameron, for all you do in that our Lyle Otis neighborhood. Thank you very much. Chad Rieflin from Consumer Credit Counseling Service will speak to us regarding the Cash Coach program. Our fabulous member, Geetha Ramachandran, will continue to be your partner, and she'll be reaching out to Chad in August when your program begins. So Chad, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Melinda. It's great to be with you all virtually. I definitely miss the in-person breakfasts, as well as that was always just a fantastic opportunity to connect everyone and see how everybody's been doing and just learn about the amazing programs that everyone, excuse me, I'm getting a phone call at the worst time here. All the great programs that everyone's conducting and to be able to network. So we've been very honored and blessed to receive support from the Women's Giving Circle for a number of years now. And through that, we've been able to develop a financial coaching program in partnership with Empire Justice Center that trains volunteers who work with low-income female heads of household over a 9-month period. Over that 9-month period, we host group meetings where participants experience some financial education, as well as group support and the one-on-one support of their financial coach. This past year, as I'm sure everyone can imagine, was very different for us as well, as we would normally host in-person meetings. There would be a lot of interpersonal connection, and that's a huge part of the support that our participants would receive that would help them to move forward in their finances. We had been wanting to offer a virtual opportunity so that it can address a lot of the barriers that many participants experienced over the years with transportation and childcare that would affect their attendance. Well, this forced us to just go obviously all virtual and to figure out how to manage our program in that space as well. So while that was a challenge, it was a good opportunity, and it actually created some different dynamics that helped us, such as being able to recruit and train coaches from different parts of the country. Since we didn't need to have somebody physically here, we actually had coaches who were assisting our participants who lived in New Jersey and California and all over. Of course, then that makes you think about silly little things like, oh, we need to go back to all our materials and put Eastern Standard Time on everything, right? So little funny things like that would pop up along the way, but it was really interesting how we would learn. This year, the other challenge for us was engagement, just keeping people engaged along the way, since again, we didn't have that one-on-one interpersonal connection opportunity with them every single month. So we also bolstered a lot of our ongoing communication that we would send out to our participants. So these would be like weekly emails, phone calls to check in with people, as well as various encouragements and social media posts to make sure people were feeling like they were able to get the support that they needed. Our attrition rate was not as positive as we normally would have it to be. I think that was due large in part to the things that I just mentioned here. But moving forward, we're looking to continue to streamline a lot of our operations and help people to move forward on their journey towards their financial goals. We just graduated our cohort this year back in May. There were 15 graduates. On average, those graduates improved their savings to debt by around $5,000, improved their credit score by almost 24 points, and made positive progress towards at least one financial goal by more than $500. So a lot of incredible results that folks are able to experience that is always so encouraging. And again, we're just grateful for the opportunity to offer the program through the support of the Women's Giving Circle. So thank you, Melinda.
Thank you, Chad. That's just what we like to see, are those outcomes at the end, that 15 individuals, probably in the working poor class, were able to better themselves financially. Thank you very much. Chad, I'm going to ask now that you've finished, Morgan Berry from Greentopia to unmute and share with us the work of the Friends of Ariel. Nancy McAfee has been the partner for the past 2 years, and she will be transitioning that to Laura Kahn. So in 2021, later this year, when your program begins in the next few weeks, Nancy and Laura will be reaching you. Morgan, you'll be our first one, just to try to, I'm going to keep you guys to about a 3-minute window, okay? So if I come on, the hook's coming, okay?
Yeah, do what you got to do.
All right.
Yeah, Morgan Berry, I run the Green Visions Workforce Development Program through Greentopia. It's a workforce development program working with at-risk youth, ages 18 to 24, severely underserved population in our city. Through our program, we have over an acre of land in Josana, an acre of land on Joseph Avenue, where we plant tens of thousands of flowers and use that as the avenue to teach job skills. And the goal of our program is not to create farmers, but to teach kids how to work together, how to be leaders in their community, how to transform their own neighborhood and work towards a goal that they set that we work to accomplish together. So in 2020, which was a weird, strange year, like we always do, we ran our program. Now, were we affected by COVID? Absolutely. But did we not run our program? Absolutely not. We ran our program to the best of our ability. We got a late start. Started in late July, where we would usually start in late April. but we ran our program all the way through October. We got our kids job safety training, OSHA training, landscape technicians training through a partnership with Cornell Cooperative Extension, which every person graduated from, financial literacy training, which we partnered with Bank of America and their Department for Financial Education and Money Management, as well as the Financial Empowerment Center through the City of Rochester. And we graduated 10 kids from our program last year, 5 of which are women. This year, we are already in the ground working. We have hired 12 young men and women, 7 young women at this point hired for the program, and the Women's Giving Circle has funded 5 of those positions. And our kids are gonna do it again. We're gonna plant tens of thousands of flowers. We're gonna profit from the flowers that we grow. And in the time since last year where we had to run our program differently, we've also invested that time upgrading our program and upgrading our campus. So we've removed the fence to open up our garden. We have removed all the shade creating trees utilizing a DEC grant. We've installed a 20-foot by 20-foot concrete pad to build an outdoor classroom on site, which will be accessible to the community and our students as well. And, you know, in this tough time where a lot of people are having problems recruiting and finding kids to work, we are out here working and trying our best, and our kids are showing up every day to work. Somebody asked where the 2 gardens specifically. Our garden in Josana is on the corner of Smith and Whitney. It's a 1-acre plot of land around a 1,000 square foot house, which we now own and are turning into an actual farm. And our other garden is on the corner of Joseph and Langham. So in a much more trafficked area. And if anybody here is familiar with the East Side and Joseph Avenue, you know, it's a tough place to have a garden, and neither of our plots are on farmland. So to get our flowers to grow requires extra work, but we are incredibly proud of our girls and our guys graduating from this program. And I would encourage anybody to come see what we have going on, because it really is a special place.
Morgan, the work you are doing is amazing. And for those of us who were in attendance a couple years ago when we first brought you into our cohort, you showed a powerful video. And I say, everyone was like, where are those flowers at Wegmans? We want to support this. We love seeing that. So thank you for what you're doing.
No problem. Somebody just asked where the flowers are sold. They'll be sold at 3 Wegmans when they are in bloom, and that will be the East Avenue Wegmans, the Webster Wegmans, and the Penfield Wegmans. But we're at the public market every Saturday running the Veggie Valet booth. We're selling them directly out of our gardens, and we'll be doing come pick your own bouquet events on the weekends that you can get more information about coming soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Morgan. What a great program. The Girl Scouts of Western New York are up next, and I'd like Crystal to unmute and share with us the work you're doing with the Out of School Time program that begins in October, entitled, and I love this, Creating Women Leaders of Tomorrow. Nancy Boziak will once again be your partner this year, so that'll be a nice, easy transition. And so now, Crystal, you have about 2 minutes. Here you go.
Hi, everyone. So yes, I'm representing Girl Scouts of Western New York. And yes, our program is Creating Women Leaders of Tomorrow. It's our after school program. And we serve 250 underserved girls from kindergarten to 8th grade. And we are serving them, just giving them the chance to earn their badges in STEM, entrepreneurship, learning financial literacy, outdoor skills, art skills, just life skills in general, and just leadership. So we are supporting them to push themselves out of their comfort zones. During COVID, we did also face some challenges like everyone was discussing. And what my director says is that we were shifting and not stopping. So our program moved virtually, and we were supporting our girls through innovation of our programs in STEM, and also just meeting our girls where they're at, being present within the time of what was going on with the social issues, and just getting adapted to learning from home. So we'll just like support our girls with by sending them kits to their houses, and that had supplies, which is called our badge in a box, and we will mail them their badges. And our troop meetings online were just filled with fun and innovation, playing some music, exposing them to like robotics and just different STEM and entrepreneurship activities. Right now, we are also, our staff we are partnering with the Children Institute for our staff to earn some training within social emotional learning for our girls, just supporting them. And yeah, and that's pretty much our overall.
That is great. And it's great to invest in staff that help the young girls help them go up. So thank you very
Yes.
much. I love the Girl Scouts. The Western New York group is fabulous. So thank you for your continued work in the community.
Thank you.
Next will be a well-known resource, Susan Porter of the Judicial Process Commission. She will share with us the work that the Women's Legal Action Project and Supportive Services is doing. Susan, it's your turn, and you will have your same two partners to be consistent with, Miss Elaine Miller and Ms. Susan Ames. So it's all yours, Susan.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for your continued support from the Giving Circle. And we worked with about 130 women who will increase their employability, receive a rap sheet, and the rap sheet will be summarized, reviewed, and corrected if needed. Their New York State employment rights will be described, and if they are eligible for a certificate of rehabilitation, an application or applications will be prepared for about 40 women. In some cases, employment will be actually restored for those women who have been suspended by New York State from their jobs by the New York State Department of Health. We make a lot of referrals to legal providers who may assist with sealing of their criminal history or an application or an interaction or interactions with the Department of Health, which is the regulatory agency. Additional referrals are made for training and other services. During COVID, we do most of our work in the parking lot now. We greet clients, we pick up materials from clients, we have clients sign the documents that are required. We actually do a lot of client education in the parking lot around employment rights. Also during COVID, we distributed a lot of emergency food several times to our Women's Legal Action Project clients. And we were able to do that because we received a FEMA grant. And we have another FEMA grant that's coming now, and that will also help with emergency food. Down the road, we hope to expand our program through the help of the Public Defender's Office. So they've become more involved, and we're probably going to be able to serve another 100 women with their assistance. I think the impact and the importance of our program is that we are actually providing a lifeline to increased wages and family stability. This service is essential, and without it, women that are working could be suspended or terminated and be unable to negotiate all the things that are required to apply for a certificate of rehabilitation on their own. Self-sufficiency is only attainable through good paying jobs and careers. And in many instances, jobs are restored for suspended workers when they obtain a certificate of relief. Over the long term, good paying careers are attainable if the barriers to employment are removed, and that's what we do. We remove the barriers to employment. We also partner with 2 legal agencies now, the Public Defender's Office and with the legal assistance of Western New York. And litigation against an employer for denying employment to someone with a certificate of rehabilitation is a violation, in some instances, is a violation of New York State employment law. In certain instances, it may be the only way to educate employers. And successful lawsuits provide material aid and education to the employer and material aid to our clients.
Susan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you continue to present a resource that our community needs and rehabilitation. So thank you very much. Jim Smith is here along with Elizabeth Martinez and Lisa Buscemi from Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach. And Jim will be presenting the Women's Empowerment Program. Linda Salmon, Jim, will be transitioning your partner responsibilities to new partner, Claudia Weber. And Linda and Claudia will reach out to you when the program begins in July. So Jim, the floor is yours. Not the beach, the floor. Oh, you got to unmute.
Thanks, everybody. What I'm going to say is just how grateful Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach is for this incredible partnership over the years. We could never do what we do to really help women transition from incarceration into the community and from there into self-sufficiency. What I'm going to do is turn the floor over to Lisa Buscemi. She is our interim director of Jennifer House, and she is really prepared for to present today. So thank you all so much. And here's Lisa.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Buscemi. First off, I just want to thank the Women's Giving Circle for investing in us and our women. We are grateful to have two separate grants from the Rochester Women's Giving Circle. Our first grant is the Women's Empowerment Program. It offers transitional support to in Jennifer House. It's a residential setting that empowers women to thrive in the community. We also have our second grant that's pretty new to us. It's in our program. It's the New Beginnings Vocational Program. And that offers intensive continued case management to ensure vocational and educational success and ultimately economic independence. Both programs have empowered our women that are justice involved, homeless, struggling with addiction, mental health, and to achieve economic self-sufficiency. As of to date, the Women's Empowerment Program serves around 50 women a year. And last year, when our program started for the vocational program during COVID, we were still able to serve 22 people. And we're really hoping that this year it just thrives more now. The importance of these programs to our women, you know, women in comparison to men have unique circumstances that affect incarceration and recidivism rates. Women have exceptional demands regarding children and their family, and they most often are the primary caregivers before and after incarceration. Women have less educational attainment and fewer job skills than men do. Justice involved women are also more likely to repeat one or more medical problems than men. Programming specific to women is essential for attaining their desired outcomes. During COVID, we have abided by all CDC guidelines, shelter-specific guidelines to ensure resident safety. We educate our women about the nature of COVID-19 and the vaccine, and we have empowered to get the vaccine if they wish. As of right now, we have 95% of our residents are vaccinated. I know, and one of them will be 100% vaccinated by next Saturday. So that's beautiful, as well as our staff. It is amazing, I know. So Spiritus Christi continues seeks to improve its housing first approach, which focuses on harm reduction for those struggling with addiction by offering quick access to housing. We also recently joined the Trauma Informed Care Collaborative through the Wilson Foundation, which helps us to serve our clients better, both within the agency and with collaborating with our other agencies. All staff are always looking forward for ways to be more inclusive and effective and keep up to date on challenges and best practices for those we serve. We're just really grateful. And I have to just put it this way too. I'm an alumna from here. You know, I came from being homeless, prison, addicted, and to here. So, you know, we're really grateful that you believe in us and our women. And, you know, my staff, 90% of my staff have came through this house and are alumna from here too as well. And we really thank you and appreciate everything you've done for us.
It
Thank
shows.
you.
Lisa, thank you. Thank you, Jim. We know Spiritus and the prison outreach program well. We applaud the work of Jennifer House. We
Thank
thoroughly
you.
applaud it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Center of Teen Empowerment is up next, and presenting is Jennifer Bannister. And our member, Joanne Guneri, will continue to be your partner this year, and she'll be reaching out to you in August when the program begins. So, Jennifer, the floor is yours. Oh, your outdoor is yours.
Oh, yes.
Lovely.
And that the outdoor means that there could be some loud engines that go by too, so just hopefully not. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Jennifer, and thanks for having us and just the support over the years. I think that what I love most about this process is how many of the women from the circle we get to interact with throughout the different processes and over the years. And everyone has always just really been wonderful with feedback and support and questions and advice and all those things. So we really appreciate that engagement. And I also wanted to say thank you, because I know we've been hard to reach recently. And so I'm actually going to share. Sorry, I just muted myself in trying to send something in the chat. So for anyone that wouldn't have gotten a chance to catch it, the virtual reality E happened last week, and it has a lot of the young women that would have maybe come on to this call today, but they are all busy getting ready for the end of their year. So we hire young people as youth organizers and youth history ambassadors to do community change work in Rochester, really neighborhood based. And so we this year during the pandemic expanded for our first time to opening our East Side site remotely. And we have a site on Genesee Street now on the East Side, which is really like the North Goodman, Market View Heights, Beechwood area. And then also we are running an intergenerational history ambassadors project with the Clarissa Street elders and youth history ambassadors that has just blown up. And actually, interestingly enough, because the Clarissa Street reunion had to be postponed for a few years, it's given this project a chance to flourish, because they're now building toward an exhibit that's going to open in May of 2022 downtown in the old Sibley building at RIT's City Art Space. And yeah, so there's a lot of things happening. And the youth are right now getting ready for their some initiatives to really that will be in person finally, because they've been remote all year, where they'll be engaging their peers really around some of the reconnecting things. We're seeing violence go up around the country, and we know that there's many factors that have contributed to that. And so teen empowerment needs to be present for that. So, so we hire young, we hire 12 to 14 youth on each site. And so half of those are young women. We balance our groups and representation wise. And so it ends up being about 18 to 22 young women that we'll hire throughout the year to be the core leadership, who are paid employees and really are working hard at the levels of like community change, institutional change. In the virtual reality, if you get a chance to peek at it, there is like an area where it says like what parts happen. It doesn't say what time, but you'll see where they're speaking out for the school budget. We actually they held an initiative called We Won But We Ain't Done, because for 14 years teen empowerment youth organizers have been at the forefront of fighting for the foundation aid that is more just funding formula for urban and rural schools in New York State. And this year they actually got the money, and so now they're fighting for RCSD to spend it on student priorities. And yeah, there's a lot to be told. So, and then within a year, they will engage probably about 1,200 other young women in their initiatives.
I love the network that Teen Empowerment does. It gives young women and young men the opportunity and a place to have their voice. Continue to do the work that you do in our community. It's needed, and we really appreciate Teen Empowerment. And a lot of us were on that virtual call last
Oh,
week.
great.
So thank you. It was fun.
Wonderful.
Next, thank you again, Jennifer. Unity is next up with Project Independence at Healthy Moms. Marianne Brady is here joining us today, and Ms. Diane Newhouse will continue to be your partner, and they'll connect as that program rolls out. So Marianne, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for supporting our program, the Women's Giving Circle. We are beyond honored. So Healthy Moms is the umbrella for Project Independence, and we serve women from pregnant through their youngest turning age 4. We are kind of like a one-stop shop for women. We provide care management, behavioral health, job training, employment counseling, pregnancy education. We have community health workers. We have just a whole bunch of different services to help women become successful, and we support them all the way through so their child turns 4 years old. So Project Independence, which is the program that the Women's Giving Circle funds, we have right now, we probably have about 20 women-ish who are enrolled in Project Independence, who are working towards either college degrees or towards earning their high school diplomas, developing resumes, figuring out what the right job for them is. And we help these women to identify their skills and their strengths so that they can find the right job that can help support them and gain sustainability for their families. While we do that, we also support them physically, mentally. We offer financial wellness classes. We help them to really create a world of self-sufficiency for themselves. So through COVID, we went down kicking, okay? We tried to maintain as much of our programming as possible while all of the restrictions came into play. So we were masking our moms. We were still providing, we have a clothing closet that the moms in job training and Project Independence run themselves. So we were still providing clothing to the community for the children in our area. And we were able to do that safely and following all the CDC guidelines. And we continue to do that. The women are so excited to be coming back on site. A lot of the restrictions are being eased now. So they are super excited to come back. And I cannot wait to share with them that the Women's Giving Circle has funded us again for 2022. We are also looking at hopefully expanding some of the services that we provide, as well as the services we provide to our community in this area. And the women in the job training program will be at the helm. They will be the ones running these programs, with supervision, of course, from our job coaches. So hopefully in the very near future, I will have more updates. I can't share anything right now, but hopefully we will be able to share some exciting new things that will be taking place.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, share them with Diane, and Diane can let us know.
Will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome the Urban League of Rochester, and they are our newest grant recipient. They have 4 women with us this morning: Ann Baer, Nicole Gibbons, Sally Stephan, I might mispronounce that, and Alexandra Cicero. The program that they will be speaking about is called FIT. It begins in July, and it's Families in Transition. Our Giving Circle member, the fabulous Marjorie Perlman, will be reaching out to you and will be presenting. So please unmute yourself and take the floor. We warmly welcome you into this grant cohort.
Good afternoon. We're really happy to be a member of the grant cohort as our first time around. Our program is Project Families in Transition, which is a pilot that we're going to start that's going to enhance some of the services for our preventive programs. Our preventive programs provide services to families who are at risk of having their children placed out of the home, or who already have their children placed out of the home and need to be reunited. So we provide case management service to families both in English and also in Spanish. And it's a lot of services from parenting to supporting the families in various aspects to help stabilize them. We work with the school systems, the healthcare system, all the various systems that the families come into contact with. What we found is that there are still some gaps, and one area that's a large gap is economic security. Many of the households we work with are headed by women and many of them need additional occupational training or sometimes even a high school diploma so that they can work towards employment that will support them and their families better. So we have proposed and we will implement a program where we'll provide some job readiness training. We'll support them in working towards their high school equivalency diploma. We can connect them with occupational skills training. And then we'll provide, this will provide additional resources for us to support them in that, provide some additional workshops, and also some additional resources such as bus passes, as well as some computer equipment for a lot of things are virtual now. And so we found that they don't always, a lot of our individuals that we work with don't have equipment that can give them access to virtual things. So there'll be some equipment there for them to use while they're participating in our program. In terms of COVID, our whole agency had to quickly adjust. We did continue providing services. However, we initially quickly got most of our staff remote and then have transitioned more back to hybrid. It sort of varied across our programs, but in the case of our preventive programs, our staff continued to do home visits. We implemented extra safety measures, made sure that staff had appropriate PPE. We tried to do things on front porches outside as much as possible, but because of the nature of some of our programs, we continued to do face-to-face, but we did also convert things to virtual. For example, some of our parenting classes went virtual, and a number of our other programming in our other areas at the Urban League and our workforce, youth development, business development, a lot of that went to a large extent virtual, but we continue to support everybody we work with and accessing a lot of the food, some basic necessities that just became scarce for everybody during COVID, and was especially a challenge for a lot of the individuals in our program. So ensuring that they were connected with those basics that they needed and provided support in adjusting to being quarantined, having their children at home, remote learning, all those new things that we had to adjust to.
We all adjusted to, yes. I'm so glad that your Urban League is with us this year. We look forward to getting to know you more. Again, you'll have a Marjorie Perlman, a liaison with you for the Giving Circle. So we look forward to getting to know you and you getting to know us. And thank you to you and your team. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our 10th and last grantee to present will be the Veterans Outreach Center, and Robin Gore is here and ready to present. And our member, Barbara Huffsmith, will be reaching out to you to establish the partner role when the program begins in July. So, Robin, here you go.
Well, hi everyone. I'm really happy to be here. Really excited about our program. I manage the Female Veteran Self-Sufficiency Program at the Veterans Outreach Center. And I, of course, would first like to thank Rochester Women's Giving Circle for their generous grant and their attention to our program. We appreciate you so much. At the VOC, we provide a wide range of services to our female veteran population and their families. These services include intensive care management, basic needs of food and housing, behavioral health services, which provides a safe haven for veterans seeking non-clinical mental health, wellness, and preventative services. We also do employment and training to help female veterans find meaningful employment and continuing education opportunities to assist in having self-sufficiency and meet long-term personal goals. Also, access to free transportation through a partnership with Rochester Transit Service, also community building through the VOC events, and our wonderful Women to Women female veteran group, where we discuss pertinent, unique issues facing our female veterans. We provide services for approximately 600 female veterans every year at the VOC. The number of female veterans serving our country is steadily increasing. Female veterans face a homecoming that includes unique challenges that require significant support. The top 5 reported issues of female veterans are post-traumatic stress disorder, major depressive disorder, migraine, lumbar sacral strain, cervical strain, military sexual trauma. Compared to men, women are more likely to be divorced, to be single parent, and even more likely to be unemployed after their service. Their needs are varied and complex, spanning areas of healthcare, sexual assault trauma, employment, finances, housing, and other social issues that over time present long-term challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated these issues, resulting in job loss, food and housing insecurity, triggered anxiety, worsened symptoms of PTSD, substance abuse, and an increase in domestic violence. Through the course of COVID-19, staff members here at the VOC were actually considered essential workers, and we worked tirelessly to stay in constant contact with our female veterans and their families through emails, phone calls, food deliveries, hand-painted and written cards of encouragement. Our Women to Women group went virtual so that we could support and offer support every week with our female veterans. This program offers female veterans the service, advocacy, community partnership to enable women to become self-sufficient and live their lives to the fullest.
Love it.
And we're excited for this year. We're also thinking of starting a women's giving circle, which will probably start after, well, in July, actually.
Well, if you'd like, that's wonderful, Robin. We'd love to talk to you more about your giving circle, and thank you for the service that you do, and for the service. And we always thank our veterans. So thank you very much. Well, members, this was our 10 agencies. We would be having balloons and hoop hollering and finishing up our coffee and saying, thank you for all the work you do. But let me share with you some of our next steps that we have to look forward to. Share screen, because I told you there would be 4 slides. Here's our 4th one. Next steps. Our next steps together, members, grantees, guests, and supporters. I've been talking about it all this past hour. Our partner connections, that will be made next in 2021, and checks are ready to be distributed. Be on the lookout for our summer circular, due to come out in early July. It'll be packed with great information and will be available for you to share with friends and family. So please voice what the Giving Circle is doing. We will be regrouping as a group, Giving Circle members on September 13th. We welcome all our guests, all our grantees to join us when we have Reverend Myra Brown from Spiritus Christi in, who, as you know, we support the prison outreach program and another vocational program, but she's also very involved with the Black Lives Matter movement in our community. So she will be speaking to us virtually on September 13th. The Circle, your leadership team, will continue to work on our racial equity lens in grant making and in other processes. We still have an in-depth investigative work to do in our community to help us uncover our next strategic grant. And we are in the planning stages to host an in-person social on November 8th, which is our calendar for our November social. So stay tuned. Lastly, think about this milestone. Everybody, we will have granted over $2 million by 2022. So that will be something to celebrate.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is our 14th year of giving. When we, so 2022, 2 million, do you see some momentum going? Well, I thank everybody. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'd like to thank everybody for their attendance today, your support, your time that you share with us, all the work that our volunteers do. Thank you. And thank you to the grantees that continue to do the good work that you do. So with that, have a great vacation, September.
Great
you
job.
so much.
Great being with everyone. Thank you.
Yes, have a great summer. Good July and
you.
August.
You too,
everybody. Stay safe.
Melinda. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Be well, everyone.